Welcome back to Nick's Bricks. I'm Nick, and today we complete our series review of LEGO's Monster Fighters theme with set number 9468, Vampyre Castle. At 917 pieces, Vampyre Castle takes the 8th rank in our series partometer. In addition to the castle itself, the set includes our last Monster Fighters vehicle, returning heroes, new monsters, and numerous play features throughout. With Lord Vampyre having collected the 6 moonstones needed to power his Eclipse machine, Dr. Rodney Rathbone and his band of heroes race to prevent this plot from unfolding, with their final confrontation in the monster realm taking place in the dilapidated Gothic castle. Let's begin with a look at the final vehicle of the Monster Fighters fleet, the sports car. The Monster Fighters sports car is a powerful automobile and is one of the fastest cars in the convoy. The vehicle's long, sleek shape and sand green color distinguishes it amongst the fleet, and following the same standard, it uses a base model vehicle modified with monster fighting equipment. Running along both sides of the vehicle are exhaust pipes and mufflers. Supporting the weight of the chassis are 4 wheels with rubber tires set into deep wheel wells. Above the front wheel wells are headlights with dual long-barrel machine guns mounted at their peaks. These blasters are the secondary weapons of the sports car. At the front, we have the bumper and grille leading to the long hood of the car. At the end of the long hood is the air intake for the sports car's powerful motor. Immediately behind is the windshield made using a 1x4 panel in trans brown, which leads to the cab. The cab is a single-seater with a centered steering wheel and a handlebar to form the seat back, a common build technique of the Monster Fighters theme. The returning Monster Fighters include Dr. Rodney Rathbone, armed with his revolver and foil, and Jack McHammer with his trusty sledge. The instructions direct us to place neither of them in the driver's seat. Instead, the sports car is parked at the far end of the parking lot where it'll be safe from harm. Actually, the imagery on the box and instructions show both operating the vehicle, so we'll give the keys to Harry. The rear fenders slope to the brake light assembly, and the Monster Fighters crew have repurposed the trunk space in favor of the sports car's primary weapon, the net cannon. The net cannon uses LEGO's aircraft engine as its barrel and is built on a Technic arm with pivot points at the base and the cannon. When not in operation, the net cannon sits low against the rear of the sports car and when activated, rises into attack position. The net must be folded to fit into the barrel, and I found that folding it into an 1/8 and rolling it is an effective way to load the cannon. The net cannon, like many other heavier arms of the Monster Fighter series, is human-powered. Protruding from the rear is a Technic axle with a dome-top 2x2 round brick forming a push-pin style trigger. When we push the axle in, the net is forced out of the muzzle, deploying and capturing attackers. The harder the trigger is pushed, the further the net flies. The net cannon will be vital to the Monster Fighters' efforts. More than just Lord Vampyre lurks inside the foreboding castle. Naturally, Vampyre Castle includes Lord Vampyre himself, particularly the caped variation, and he comes armed with his sword. With Lord Vampyre and Rodney Rathbone both being skilled swordsmen, their epic duel will take place in various locations across Vampyre Castle as Rodney Rathbone tries to prevent Lord Vampyre from activating his Eclipse machine. Vampyre Castle also includes 2 mutant bats, the henchmen of Lord Vampyre. This subspecies of vampire appears more bat-like than human and are less intelligent but more savage. Their loyalty is unbreakable, serving their vampire lords unquestionably, and they're charged with fending off any trespassers in the castle. The mutant bat's torso prints show dark brown fur and muscular details in LEGO's medium nougat. LEGO's standard minifigure arms have been replaced with Batwing arms. These unique arm molds debuted in 2012 with Vampyre Castle and the Vampyre Bat from CMF Series 8. The bat wings pivot at the shoulder and wrist like standard arms. The rear torso print shows more fur and muscle tone with spine, ribs, and shoulder blade details. The mutant bat uses the layered head and headgear style seen with the swamp creature and the crazy scientist monster. The reddish-brown headpiece shows printed fur details, red eyes, and fangs. The contrasting dark brown headgear shows wind-blown fur and pointed bat ears with medium nougat accents. The bat's gruesome smile makes for a sinister expression. While the mutant bats take direction from Lord Vampyre, the last included minifigure of Vampyre Castle rules the monster realm at his side. She is Lord Vampyre's bride. Lord Vampyre's bride is as deadly a vampire as they come. An equal ruler of the monster realm with Lord Vampyre, Lady Vampyre is a master of hexes and poisons and uses her dark magic to enforce the vampire's will. Lord Vampyre's bride wears a dark red long-sleeve dress with lace inlined sweetheart neckline. The bodice features a lavender-printed underbust corset with centered clasps. Around her neck, Lady Vampyre wears a necklace with a teardrop-cut ruby. The color and cut of the ruby looks like a drop of blood, an appropriate accessory for a vampire countess. The skirt of the dress has 3 layers, beginning with the gathered top skirt, which opens to the overskirt. The overskirt shares the same lavender pattern as the corset and is the only section of the dress to show tattered details. The 3rd layer is the underskirt, which drapes to the floor. The back torso print includes the corset's rear cut, square neckline, and continuing lavender pattern. Similar to the zombie bride, Lord Vampyre's bride uses a 2x2x2 slope for the skirt portion of the dress, a sign of the LEGO times preceding the introduction of the lower body skirt element in 2018. Her face print includes black thin eyebrows and eyelashes, and eyeshadow and lipstick in dark pink. Long black hair drapes over her shoulders and back, covering most of the rear torso. Lady Vampyre has a dual head print. The first shows her fanged smile in an ominous expression. The alternate face shows an open-mouthed snarl ready to bite her victim, similar to Lord Vampyre's alternate face. The instructions direct us to place LEGO's Erlenmeyer flask in Lady Vampyre's hand, showing her use of witchcraft. Further evidence of her sorcery will be seen later. Ruling over the monster realm together, let's have a look at the manor this vampire power couple calls home. Lord Vampyre's castle can be divided into 2 halves. The first half includes the gate, the short open-top tower, and the medium roofed tower. The back half includes the cellar, open balcony, and the tallest tower with its own turret. The 2 halves are connected by a pair of hinge bricks, allowing the castle to pivot open, granting better access to the interiors and the courtyard. Beginning with the front half of the keep, the entrance is built from 3 staggered structures, the short tower on the right being the closest, the centered gate behind it, and the medium tower on the far left situated behind the gate. This layered layout adds depth, and the varying heights of the spires on the gate and medium tower add a disorienting aura. The short tower to the right is built primarily on a 10x10 octagonal plate and shows the disrepair of Lord Vampyre's castle. The tower features several windows, some barred and some shuttered. Stickers over corner wall panels show spider webs, invading plant life, and revealed stonework. Red eyes peer out from the dark holes in the masonry. At the top right of the tower is a series of brown Technic connectors leading to a perpendicular axle connector forming a perch. One of the mutant bats hangs upside down from this perch, waiting to attack trespassers or to be summoned by its vampire masters. The short tower includes a play feature. At its base is a rock formation that the tower was built into. A small Technic rack is positioned below the rock panel. When we press the short end of the Technic rack, the long side pivots upward, dislodging the rock panel, revealing a small entrance. The idea being, when the monster fighters arrive, they use Jackhammer's sledge to break away the rock and slip into the castle safely and undetected. The various structures of Vampyre Castle use dollhouse-style builds. Swinging around to the back of the short tower, we'll see its interior, the castle dungeon. Hanging from the ceiling is the previous occupant of the dungeon. This poor soul was shackled and suspended by a chain until they met their grim fate. The chain can be raised and lowered by rotating the bar hub on the side of the tower. The barred dungeon door prevents any escape, and when unlocked, pivots open on 2 clips. Topping off the dungeon tower is an open battlement which uses masonry and palisade bricks to maintain the castle's disrepaired look. This area includes a cauldron filled with a mushroom, a green frog, and stirring stick. The instructions direct us to place Lord Vampyre's bride here where she concocts her witch's brew and casts her spells. The next segment of the front half is the gate. This low-set, wide section of the front is lined with parapets and provides access to the courtyard for welcome guests. Starting at the top, we see 2 offset spires, an architectural feature consistent throughout the keep. Centered between the spires and over the gate is LEGO's classic bat piece, which has been used since 1997. This could be interpreted as an actual bat, but I think it's a sculpture, a clear warning of the dangers of Lord Vampyre's castle. Moving downward, we'll see a white spider keeping watch over the gate. This spider is actually attached to a flick-fire missile. Pressing the bar on the other side of the gate triggers the play feature, and the spider jumps at its unsuspecting victims below. The gate section includes a decal on the far left showing a small crack with exposed stonework and a prickly bush in dark tan. Finally, the arched twin gates pivot outward, granting access to the courtyard. From the interior, we see the flick-fire missile bar, which controls the jumping spider outside. Ledges on either side of the gate provide elevated platforms where guards can be posted to oversee the entrance. Centered at the base of the twin gates is a 1x2 jumper which serves as a stopper for the doors, preventing them from opening inward. The jumper also serves as a trigger for the gate's booby trap. At each post are a pair of spikes. When an intruder makes their way through the gates and steps unknowingly on the trigger, the trap springs and the spikes extend out, impaling the helpless trespasser. The last segment of the front half is the medium tower. Beginning at the top, we see this tower is complete with LEGO's tower roof piece, which has been adorned with more staggered spires. More barred and shuttered windows are featured on this tower, as well as another perch for our second mutant bat. Further stickers show more cobwebs, vining foliage, revealed stonework, and peering red eyes. Returning to the courtyard for a look at the interior, we'll see the attic of the tower holds a treasure chest. LEGO's iconic treasure chest is a 2-part container and dates back to 1989, where it debuted in the Pirates theme and has been used every year since. The round top of the chest pivots open to reveal the treasure contained inside. In this case, 3 cut jewels. Word of the riches held in Vampyre Castle attracts both the brave and foolish. The main floor of the tower is a study with windows providing views of the monster realm, a comfortable red rug, and what looks to be an old pirate treasure map. But things are never that simple with Lord Vampyre, and the study bears another booby trap. On the outside of the tower, below the floor of the study, is a black cone. When we pull the cone, the attached axle slides out and the trap door in the floor of the study opens. At the bottom of the tower is a spike pit, where the victims of this trap meet their doom. So when a greedy trespasser makes their way to the study, notices the treasure map, and steps in for a closer look, the trapdoor opens and the unwelcome guest falls to the spike pit waiting below. The front half of Lord Vampyre's castle is riddled with traps and hazards, which many would-be treasure seekers and vampire slayers won't surmount. For those who do survive, let's see what the back half of the castle has in store for them. From the courtyard, we have an uninterrupted view of the rear of the castle. The single structure includes the tallest tower, which is built on a wide foundational building with 2 floors. The details of the castle's disrepair continue with more barred and shuttered windows and decals showing overgrown foliage, exposed mason work, and red glaring eyes. At the bottom of this imposing structure is the castle's cellar. In the deep cold basement, free from sunlight, is Lord Vampyre's casket. Utilizing the same parts we saw in the Vampire hearse, the coffin provides Lord Vampyre a cozy place to rest after a long night of vampiring. The arch of the entry has been adorned with red curtains, adding a regal air to the otherwise dank cellar. To the right is a flight of stairs leading to a balcony which oversees the courtyard. With the use of a magic charm known only to the residents of Vampyre Castle, the segments of the door pivot at the side, fanning into a spiraling staircase. In addition to forming the staircase, the charm allows access to Lord Vampyre's chambers. Moving the stairs back to their closed position, we get a better look at the room. To the right is a neatly made bed with a dark red comforter and white pillow. Pearl gold cones form the posts at the foot of the bed, while the headboard includes a canopy. Too bad vampires sleep in coffins. This bed looks comfortable and elegant. At the opposite side of the chamber is the parlor with 2 tables, each set under its own window. The narrow table holds 2 decanters with stoppers, one in trans red and the other in trans dark blue. The short, wider table holds a lit candle, bone sample, and trans green goblet. A rat scurries across the floor. Following the spiral staircase, we ascend to the lower battlement overlooking the courtyard. The rear battlement uses a similar build and height to its sister battlement at the front. Crossing a narrow ledge brings us to Lord Vampyre's library. Again, a short, wide table bears a lit candle, and the adjacent shelf holds an array of books. The library and the parlor section of his chambers are where Lord Vampyre researched, developed, and designed his Eclipse machine. To the side of the main tower is the turret. The turret includes a bat-themed weather vane, and its interior is completely empty. While the turret lacks any practical use, its inclusion changes the silhouette of the castle and further adds to the disorienting aura. At the top of the tower is our second tower roof piece, complete with another batch of staggered spires. The interior attic holds the pipe organ, which Lord Vampyre plays. The pipe organ can be heard for miles across the monster realm, a reminder of Lord Vampyre's watchful presence. Built into the top floor of the tall tower is Lord Vampyre's Eclipse machine. Since its construction and placement on the tall tower, the Eclipse machine has become the prominent feature of Lord Vampyre's castle and can be seen from almost anywhere in the monster realm. Built on the ever-present 10x10 octagonal plate, the machine includes a printed 4x4 inverted radar dish showing a crescent moon and clouds. Surrounding the moon is a frame with spots for 6 moonstones. The moonstones featured throughout the series are all included in Vampyre Castle, with the exception of the Zombies moonstone, which we established was a retail exclusive set and thus omitted from the 6 core moonstones of the series. The moonstones are held to the frame by posts formed from perpendicular Technic axle hub elements. Naturally, the Eclipse machine includes a play feature. Swinging around to the back, we'll find an axle with a 2x2 dome top brick. Behind the moon print are two wagon wheels which straddle the second axle of the perpendicular hubs. As we push the rear axle, the moon piece moves forward and the rear wheel catches the 6 posts, moving the moonstones outward. When we pull the rear axle back, the crescent moon retracts and the front wheel catches the inside axles, pivoting the stones inward. This position focuses the 6 moonstones' energies, powering the machine. Finishing off the set, Vampyre Castle is complete with the series' signature glow-in-the-dark elements. The phosphorescent pieces include the jumping spider at the gate and the rat scurrying about the chamber. The final glow-in-the-dark piece sits at the heart of the Eclipse machine. The 4x4 inverted radar dish glows under the printed black sky, illuminating the crescent moon and surrounding clouds. Additionally, 2 of the stickers on the castle exterior depict spider webs. These spider webs also glow in the dark. Lastly, Lord and Lady Vampyre's heads glow in the dark, adding to their eeriness. And so, the monster fighters make their stand against Lord Vampyre and the hordes of the monster realm. Will Rodney Rathbone and his band of heroes be able to stop the Eclipse machine before it casts the world into darkness? Or will Lord Vampyre's vision take form, extending the monster's domain into the lands of man? Only the LEGO Maniacs can decide. Monster Fighters is a series heavy with exclusive minifigures, interesting structural and vehicle builds, and inspiring lore. From the natural environments of the swamp creature and the werewolf, to the high-speed vehicles of the vampire hearse and the ghost train, to the decaying Gothic architecture of the Crazy Scientist Laboratory and Vampyre Castle, the series delivers on the spooky vibes and monstrous inspiration. Building the series has become a new October tradition in my household as part of our Halloween decoration, and I look forward to the builds every year. As we conclude our series review of LEGO's Monster Fighters theme, our next series will take us under the sea in our first venture into the Aqua Zone with Aqua Raiders 2 from 2007. The Aquatic Treasure Hunters marks the most recent sub-theme of LEGO's long-running Aqua Zone series, so stay tuned. Until then, this has been Nick with Nick's Bricks. Thank you for watching, and remember, build, disassemble, repeat.